Today is day 200 of the Broadway shutdown. I know you're hurting. I know it's hard. I know it's disorienting. I know. I get it. I understand how we all feel. Let's figure out what we can do. This is Arnold Mangioli for Grateful, Ready, Open, Willing. I'm really happy to get to talk to you a little bit on our YouTube channel. And please take a look and consider subscribing. I'm going to try to keep this one short and to the point. I'm going to put a little timer up here so that I can make sure it's short. It's day 200 of the Broadway shutdown, and also 1 million deaths were recorded today from coronavirus, COVID-19. We passed the 1 million mark. We passed the 200,000 mark in the United States. So the United States has 4% of the world's population, but we have 20% of the world's COVID-19 cases. Grotesque mismanagement and terribly sad. And one of the big casualties of that for most of us in this group is the, and it really ought to not be just for us in this group, but one of the big casualties is the pause that theater finds itself on currently, and that we have for 200 days today. Wow. So the reason I say it ought to be of more concern to the country at large, and certainly to our government representatives who have pushed everything aside to have Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat on the Supreme Court filled in some sort of emergency session, putting aside the HEROES Act. Actors Equity actually issued a statement today condemning members of Congress for moving forward on trying to get Amy Coney Barrett, whatever her name is, approved for the Supreme Court, while putting the HEROES Act aside, which is really urgent business for the country. It turns out, I looked up the statistics on the NEA just a little bit ago, and it seems that the national contribution that the arts and theater make to the country's GDP is $877.8 billion. So are you really interested in getting the economy started again? Because maybe taking care of artists and theater people and theaters and the theater industry would be a good way to start that. In New York alone, there's over 87,000 employees that are directly related to the Broadway theater. I'm one of them. Perhaps you're one of them. And we're bringing in, I can't remember the exact number, but I think it's $5 billion to the New York economy. We do a lot. And yet we've been kind of thrown into this non-routine. When I say non-routine, I mean, for me, my routine is casting shows and all of the whirlwind and tornado that goes with that. It's working very long hours. It's trying to find the right actor for the role, and it's going through many submissions and videos and pictures and resumes and putting together audition sessions. It's a lot of work, and it's what I'm used to. This in-between place that we all find ourselves in, this is not what I'm used to. And I'm sure for actors going on auditions and getting up early and trying to get seen at EPAs or equity chorus calls, this is tough to suddenly not be doing that. Well, of course, it'll teach us to never take it for granted again. But besides that, I know that it's hard some days. We can find ourselves in a place where, you know, it's a little tough to keep going. And I know that with Grateful, Ready, Open, Willing, and just with my life in general, I try to be very positive, and I try to look at the bright side, and I try to consider the things that we can do. And I understand that some of you may not want to subscribe to this channel because you may feel like, Arnold, I don't want to hear anything positive today. I'm miserable and I'm going to sit in my misery. I have those days too, and that's okay. It really is okay. Once in a while, we need to do that. But the thing is, we're creative artists. And I'm sure you've heard me say this before, but if, as most religions like to phrase it, we are created in the image of our Creator, then that means We are created to create. That is our purpose, to create. And creative people who work in the theater, creative artists, creative people of all kinds, and I believe that all people are creative. We are created in the image of our Creator to do exactly that, to create. So if we go a whole 200 days letting the entropy of nothing to do, my routine is gone, the thing I'm used to isn't here, my world has changed, I don't really know how to get footing to move forward, if that thing happens to us, we're less likely to be in a vibration where we're going to find that creative spark, figure out what to do next, figure out something new, the next thing, the way to channel our energies and make something happen. It's going to be more difficult to find it from a negative place. So here's what I want to offer today. On this day of day 200 of the Broadway shutdown and passing 1 million deaths from coronavirus worldwide, I'd like to offer the thought that if we could just find something we like, some one beautiful thing about the world, a leaf, the sky, a raindrop, a favorite shirt, quarantine hair that we never really cut short again, whatever it is you enjoy. I've talked to colleagues on Zoom, some casting directors and some agents, and everybody's like walking 10 miles a day and looks great. And I'm like, well, okay, wait a minute. I did that like the first 90 days pretty religiously. And then I kind of stopped, and you all look great. But anyway, I'm getting back to it. The thing is, something that makes us feel good, something in our own lives that brings us joy, that we can just click into, to take ourselves out of the reality of what's going on around us and what's happening and how our industry is on this pause and or in this state of pause, which has not given us a clear direction of how to move forward from here. If we can do that, we can find something positive, something that brings us joy. We can, from there, perhaps attract more things that bring us joy. Perhaps focus on something joyful that leads us to another joyful thought that brings us some kind of happiness, satisfaction, delight, surprise maybe. And if we can connect to that, from that, maybe we'll create something wonderful. Again, we'll create something. We're creative people. But if we're creating from a place of lack, if we're creating from a place of feeling a kind of a suppression or sadness or, everything we're without, that might not be as powerful a creation as if we can create from our own joy, as if we can create from, as it would be, if we could create from the things that bring our true essence to the surface. So I just want to offer that today. Grateful, ready, open, willing. We're here on Facebook, we're here on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. Follow us in whatever form delights you, and hopefully we can surprise you with some glorious positive thoughts that will help us all move forward on our way. I wish you a beautiful day.